Hello, and welcome to another episode of 20th Century Dude. We're gonna go a little impromptu. We're gonna be right in my car, as you can see here, hence car keys. And I feel like I'm gonna spend a little time. I know I don't often do movie reviews of newer movies, so to speak, but I figure I might as well, since I like the Mad Max stuff that I would do on for the Furiosa movie. I was going to do a Furiosa review and do it in a double feature with the Garfield movie. But I figured if I'm going to have time to see one of them, I feel like I'd rather go see a Mad Max one than a Garfield. Sorry, Garfield fans. I grew up with it too, but I'm just more likely to see a Mad Max movie than a Garfield movie. And I would say, walking out of the theater, it's definitely a mixed bag for me. There's a handful of stuff that I do like about the movie, and that I think were, of course, very well done. But then there are also a handful of other aspects that maybe didn't gel with me as well. And I feel like, unfortunately, what's also going to stick with the movie is it's, I guess, audience reception right now, and its box office outlook, because right now I think it's still currently bombing. And I know in a theater I went to, I know it was like maybe 12:30 to 1 in the afternoon, so maybe not as many people are going to be going to the theater, understood. But I was the only one in the audience that day. I figured, yeah, maybe there'd be like one or two more. I'll show up during, like after the previews and stuff. But nope, I was the only one for the entire movie. And this is the second time this has actually happened, ironically. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I was the only one in the theater, probably not that great. Really a bad sign for Hollywood right now, I think. If this is what your audience is, you literally have maybe one person at a time entering your theater. Of course, there's the factor of time of day, sure, but still. I really wish we can get back to the day when people could still see these things in droves, no matter what the time of day was. It really shouldn't have been a factor at all, but here we are now. I guess maybe we can start with the good and the mixed. I feel like off the top of my head, Chris Hemsworth is a standout character in the movie. I feel like what Chris Hemsworth did with the Dementis character, I think he was using some video game or some comic or something previously. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to all the expanded lore of Mad Max because it's not as important to me. I mean, what's in the movies is pretty much the solid thing, I guess. It's the only thing I really care about, honestly. I don't need to worry about some comic made 3 years ago to explain some detail in the Laceland. It's something I don't know, not something I really need to know. Remember, these are campfire stories being passed down, so what if some more detail is maybe not the most exact? But I feel like he did a pretty good job in the role. And Anya Taylor-Joy, who surprisingly was only in like maybe 2/3 of the actual movie. I was surprised how long it was until we actually saw her in the role, but more on that later. I feel like she did a somewhat good job with what she was given. Obviously, Charlize Theron was the better Furiosa in Fury Road, obviously. But I feel like she did a pretty good job with what she was given. Same with the Immortan Joe actor for this movie. Obviously, not the same as Hugh Keys Burns, I feel like is the original actor's name. He also played Toe Cutter in the original movie. I don't know the name of this other guy that filled in for him. But again, I also think he did a pretty good job with what he was given. And I feel like I probably mentioned it before. The movie is good in its moments. But maybe not a collective whole for me, unfortunately. I mean, not something like Road Warrior or Fury Road, where it feels consistently good from beginning to end. If for Furiosa, it feels like it's only good in chunks. Unfortunately. I feel like the beginning would be a really good part in the movie if it was more, I guess, compacted together. I feel like it may have dragged on a little too much. The fact that we didn't even get to see Anya Taylor-Joy until like 35, 40 minutes in the movie, kind of a problem. So I may have snipped 20 minutes from the beginning. At least, tighten it up a little bit. I feel like that probably would have helped a bit. Made the beginning more solid. Not to say the beginning of the movie, was horrible, but it would have made it better. So just tighten it up a little bit. Because I don't know if any of us really want to go see a 2.5 hour Mad Max movie. I don't feel like a Mad Max movie needs to be more than 2 hours, really. I mean, I think even the first two are like, what, an hour and a half-ish long? So, yeah, they were an hour and a half long because that's all they need to be. They got the story through in an hour and a half, and that's 90 minutes is all the time they needed. They didn't need to, like, bloat anything out. As far as whatever car chases and stuff and action set pieces were there, I feel like we're pretty good. Not quite up to Fury Road level. Obviously, this movie definitely plays as Fury Road light, I guess. I don't know if smaller scale is the right word, but maybe it's smaller in its approach. I don't know. So if you're looking for another Furio movie, you're going to have to look somewhere else, unfortunately, because this is not going to be quite the action spectacle that the other one was, which maybe isn't a bad thing, but, I mean, maybe it's also because Fury Road maybe set the bar too high, and now we're at the point where can anything equal it? Can anything be better than Fury Road? Which I feel like is maybe a problem. Maybe we set the bar too high back in 2015. So I guess maybe I feel like this is also where we're getting more in a mix and the things that didn't gel with me as well as they should have. I feel like one aspect is continuity. In this movie, in the Mad Max movies previously, especially once you get to about, like, the third one, they play it very fast and loose with the continuity because, again, these are campfire stories be passed down from generation to generation. So what if there's a few details wrong, don't add up to, like, previous movies? Like, I guess, for example, you have Bruce Spence. He was in Road Warrior and Thunderdome, and he played the gyro captain. And I think I am to assume maybe he's playing the same person, if I'm to assume. Because obviously, yeah, looks like pretty much the same guy. And they're both flying planes now, so I would assume maybe between Road Warrior and Thunderdome that not only did, he have a kid with somebody, maybe from the previous movie, but also that he, honestly upgraded his tech. He went from this small little, the little gyro mechanism, and now he's moving on to, flying bigger planes. So he's essentially gone bigger, but then in Thunderdome, like, when Mel Gibson eventually, like, finds him, he doesn't really, like, acknowledge him at all. He's just kind of like, hey, you want to get out of here or something? Because you would think, oh, well, he knows him from the previous movie, so they're going to acknowledge it, but they don't really do that. But because Thunderdome is also, I guess, being told by those, like, Peter Pan kids or something, maybe that's a detail that didn't really get passed down or didn't matter. I don't know. So I guess there's one continuity error, which you could call continuity error, but doesn't really matter. And this movie makes continuity a little more rigid, I guess. You're literally seeing how, like, the war rig and stuff is being built, or eventually, like, the prototypes leading up to that. You're literally seeing it lead right into Fury Road, to the point where in the credits they're actually showing clips from the Fury Road movie, which I feel like was a little excessive. It made the audience seem like they're a little dumb, that they're not going to know where this movie goes, whatnot. It'd be like in Rogue One, during the credits, if they showed clips from Episode 4, New Hope. Like, we wouldn't have needed that. We as the audience are not that dumb. We know where this is going. We know where Furiosa is going to lead to. But we probably did not need to be that explicit with it. Which makes me wonder, all of a sudden, why is continuity suddenly so important when it didn't need to be previously? Maybe it was personal choice. I don't know. But again, if these are campfire stories to be passed down, then I guess why do we need, like, a fact checker or something? So that's my thing. And I guess going back to, tighten up the beginning and stuff, again, 2.5 hours for a Mad Max movie. We don't need it to be that long. I feel like 2 hours, it's probably enough, more than enough for this movie. Yeah. I don't know. It just, I feel like this one just didn't sit with me as well as it probably should have been. I think it also doesn't help that I don't really see why we needed a Furiosa movie to begin with. I mean, wasn't Fury Road already kind of her movie? But the way I also see it, she was just one of many people that Max would have an encounter with in the Wasteland. So he can always just move on to the next movie, have another adventure, which is probably what it should have been. It should have been another movie with Tom Hardy's Max. He's moving on to the next location, next adventure. Maybe next barbarian culture he has to encounter or something. I don't know. That's probably what it should have been. Or even Furiosa in the midst of what was this 40-day Wasteland war that they really spent, like, less than 10 minutes on. And I would have much rather have seen that movie. I want to know more about this 40-day war. Like, that's kind of important. Why are we mostly addressing this off camera or during flashbacks? Like, that's something I feel like could have used some expansion. That's something I would have preferred the movie mostly spend its time on. And it just kind of gets glossed over. Which I don't get. Because that's more exciting than just, it's a Furiosa movie. You see how she gets from here to there. Okay, fine. But here's, like, a Wasteland war. Why didn't we spend time on that? That seems like it's kind of a big deal. Seems like that's kind of a big footnote. Why didn't we spend time on that? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't hate this movie. again, it has its good moments. It's very well done moments here and there. Again, it's another movie that's aesthetically pleasing. It gets the atmosphere of the wasteland right. It does really hammer home that is kind of a shitty place. Um, but as a collective whole, I don't think it's as good as I would have liked it to be. And I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I've clearly seen better in the past. So, as far as movies, like Mad Max movies, I would say are better than this. Obviously, Fury Road, that's gonna outdo everything, really. Road Warrior, again, 80s classic, probably one of my top 10 favorite 80s movies. And I would even say the 1979 movie is better than this, or at least I like it more. The only movie I would feel like this movie is better than is maybe Thunderdome. I've never been a Thunderdome guy, so I don't know. I feel like maybe I like this more in Thunderdome, but the other three, first two and Fury Road, those are way better than that. That's probably going to be a go-to for Mad Max for me, is like the first two movies in Fury Road. Alright. I'll probably maybe review this movie again once it comes, the home later, but I don't know. In some cases, a little underwhelmed, but a little surprised at times, but as a whole, didn't enjoy it as much as I would have liked to. So, that's it for my review of Furiosa, and otherwise, stay tuned for more content, and have a good rest of the day. So, see ya.